Welcome back to Wrestling World. Today we'll be taking a look at the latest new update to Alexa's character, as well as Alexa's answer to one of our questions, so let's get into it. Last time we touched on this topic, we left off with the SummerSlam situation. Reports claimed that the original SummerSlam script featured Alexa playing a key role in the main event of the night. Obviously, that never happened, and Alexa retweeted some of the fans that were questioning where she was. That led to our discussion earlier in the week, where we were wondering what happens with Alexa Bliss. Does WWE drop that entire story for her and move into a new direction? Or do they find a way to keep the same Fiend influence story going for her? I had my doubts after so many other canceled storylines this year. I thought there was a real good chance that Alexa's change gets dropped as well, especially with her cryptic tweets, but thankfully, that was wrong. WWE seems to be continuing that story of Alexa's big transition, and things are really starting to heat up. Alexa wasn't on Smackdown or SummerSlam last week, but she finally returned this week for a brief backstage segment. The segment was extremely short, but it told us a lot about where her character is at right now. Nikki Cross is backstage, having a discussion, and Alexa Bliss appears. The one thing that stood out to me right away, it was even one of the first things Nikki Cross brought up, was Alexa's hairstyle. Alexa had her hair up in that Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn sort of style. The last time Alexa had her hair like this was back in November 2019, but it was just used as a special one-night look for the pay-per-view. Alexa Bliss really made that look go viral during her debut year in 2016. Alexa first debuted the Harley Quinn hairstyle that year and wore it for several appearances. There's even Mattel figures, photo shoots, and so much merchandise of Alexa with that hairstyle. It was one of her iconic first looks on the main roster. But without counting that one-night look in November 2019, it has been well over 4 years that she wore the Harley Quinn look on a consistent basis. So what does her bringing back that hairstyle represent? It's quite early to tell, but my wish is still the same. I hope we do sort of get a Harley Quinn-like vibe from Alexa's character going forward. But forget about the Harley Quinn hairstyle for a second, because there was something much bigger that was obviously going on with Alexa's hair, and Nikki pointed it out as well. A portion of Alexa's hair closely represent the look of the Fiend's hair. Alexa even noted that she thought of having her entire hairstyle done in that same sort of Fiend style. Could that comment there be foreshadowing by Alexa, and that she will continue to transition her hair to look exactly like the Fiend's? That's something we'll have to keep a very close eye on, so pay attention to Alexa's hair in the near future, because we got some heavy teases that huge changes could be coming to her hair. WWE wants us to know that her hair matches the Fiend's, because even one of the characters in the segment obviously made that known and called it out. Nikki Cross is very open with Alexa and tells her that she doesn't like it because it reminds her of the Fiend. Alexa's entire mood changes the second the Fiend is brought up, and I really love that. Alexa seems to call off her friendship with Nikki and smashes the mug she got Nikki on the ground before walking off. This entire segment was maybe 30 seconds to a minute long in overall length, but I absolutely loved it and thought it was brilliant because it added so much depth to Alexa's current character and gave us a real good update. Take a look at the timeline for Alexa Bliss in recent weeks. Nikki starts acting ruthless towards her, and we all thought Nikki was turning heel, and Alexa would be the babyface. But that didn't turn out to be true at all. After being captured and changed by the Fiend, it appears that Alexa could very well be the heel in this situation. You take a look at how Alexa was when she confronted Braun Strowman compared to this week's segment with Nikki Cross, and it's night and day. Alexa was still affected, but she was still mostly herself during that segment with Strowman a few weeks ago. But the Alexa we saw this week has clearly changed and is starting to lose it, and let that Fiend influence just take over. The vibe that I got from Alexa Bliss this week, besides Harley Quinn, was a little bit of Bray Wyatt in there as well. Alexa sort of had that same vibe that Bray Wyatt has. Bray is so warm and friendly to everyone when he's himself, just like how Alexa first entered the segment, just being happy and hugging all of them. But the second the Fiend gets mentioned, Bray's whole vibe changes. And that's exactly what happened with Alexa as well. It was like she was basically Firefly Alexa towards the start of the segment, and basically ends the segment with being the Fiend Alexa Bliss. Her character completely flipped entirely around just because the Fiend came into the conversation. I love this moment because of all the possibilities and potential it has to be a real fun story. Like, where does Alexa go from here? One idea I thought of is Alexa basically becoming the Fiend's sort of secret admirer, and she just becomes obsessed with the Fiend. I feel like WWE has hinted at that heavily over the last few weeks. Alexa said during the interview that she loved being around him. Well, we saw her basically tame him from attacking, and now she's taking inspirations from his hairstyle. So if I had to guess where this story is going, I think Alexa could turn out to just be dangerously obsessed with the Fiend, and that's going to cause a major change with herself and her personality, like we're already starting to see. I think changing Alexa's hairstyle to match the Fiend's hair, or even having her change the color of her hair, will be a great visual representation of the change that's happening within her. Now that we got the clarification that Alexa's story is continuing, I'm excited to see where it goes. This is just another small side topic involving Alexa Bliss, but it includes the channel, so I thought I'd throw it in here for you guys to hear about. Our good friends over at Topps WWE Slam reached out and said that they were having Alexa Bliss on for a question and answer session and would love for us to send in a question for her. So that's exactly what we did. The question I submitted to Alexa Bliss was a simple one, but I thought it would be quite interesting to ask. My question was, what match did you learn from the most or taught you something that you didn't previously know? Alexa had this to say in response to the question. It wasn't even my matches. I would say it was when I was managing Blake and Murphy. That's when I learned the most in-ring psychology because I was still involved, but I wasn't having to worry about remembering a match or anything. I was still developing my character at the same time, and I think when you take time as a manager, you learn a lot because you can take yourself out of it, but still be in it and learn. I say I learned the most from managing. So thanks again to Topps for the opportunity to submit a question, and special thanks to Alexa for answering the question. She really broke it down and gave a real good insight to the question. She learned the most about in-ring psychology and how to develop her character thanks to her time managing Blake and Murphy. Her time with them is most likely why she made it so big on the main roster. So it was great to learn that she learned the most when she was just standing at ringside as manager. Must be extremely useful for new talent like Alexa at that time, who was still discovering her own character. What are your thoughts on another new hint of Alexa going through possible big physical and mental changes with her character? And what did you think of Alexa's answer to our question as well? Leave your comments below, don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.